G'day, it's Joel here, just doing a paint removal today. So I thought I might do a quick video and sort of work my way through this one to show how I attack it, what I'm dealing with, just to give some people a bit of an idea of how to attack paint removal, because it's a very challenging job. Chematec paint removal agent, great product. Sometimes I find it's really good, sometimes I find it's still a bit of a struggle to get the paint off. So there's quite a few variables that come into the practice and the practicality of how do you remove paint from panels and do so safely, utilizing Chematec paint removal agent, and how much do you need, how much time does it take, etc, etc. So there's a lot of things that sort of come into it. All I can say so far is that every single case I've done so far, everyone's different. So yeah, but let me just give you a bit of a rundown of what I'm doing today. All right. Okay, so if I just try and give you a bit of a close-up of the panel, you can see there's very fine grey paint there. There's a bit of a mark there where I've sort of tried to rub the paint just with water. So that's what I'm dealing with. So it's not super bad, but it's not really good either. Just going to flick across to the other panels that I'm looking at. Here's a bit of a close-up. So I've actually did some work when I quoted this, just sort of to see how well the paint removal agent would remove it. So that cell there, you can really see there's some patches that are like that. So that's sort of what we're contending with, just to give you an idea of severity. So what I've done so far is I've started to spray the paint removal agent on the panels. I'm going to give the paint removal agent a good 15 minutes to do its thing. You can see my little spray bottle there. So all I've done basically is just got myself a garden spray. I don't like to mix up too much of it. Sometimes I find at the standard 1:2 ratio that we struggle, and sometimes I mix it down to 1:1, so 1 litre of paint removal agent to 1 litre of water, so strengthen it up. Paint removal agent as a product is just nowhere near as aggressive as anything else like graffiti remover or other chemicals. It's designed to remove paint, but it's also designed to do so without damaging the panels and the anti-reflective coating. So there's a fine balance between how aggressive it is and how docile it is. So it does the trick, but these things here and the old arms, they're the bits that often have to do most of the work in conjunction with what Chematec paint removal agent is doing for you. So that's just been sprayed on. I'm just going to do all the rest of the panels here and give them a good 15-minute soak, and then I'm going to start attacking it with the stiff bristle brush and some water, and I've also got a scraper, and we'll just see how it all pans out. So this one's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll crack on. So down at the ute now, just getting the water fed pole set up so I can take it up on the roof with me. So the question generally gets asked, what equipment do you use to help clean? So pretty manual process, water fed pole. So I've got my water fed pole here. So first and foremost, I've got our Solar Safe scraper with a nice fresh blade on it. So I might probably need to change that out a couple of times while I'm up on the roof. Just depends on how much I'll wear it out, how much I bang it against the frames and blunt the edges and whatnot. But I'm more concerned about getting the paint off than the cost of a couple of blades here and there. So as far as the brush goes, this is a brush that I got put onto probably about a year ago now. It's a 10-inch sill brush. It's Gardner. As you can see, it's got little red strip on it, which is used for window washing, but this is really quite a stiff brush, great for putting a fair bit of effort or pressure, if you like, into getting stuff off. So this is the extra stiff one. I also have another Gardner brush, which is a 14-inch brush that I use. This is the 14-inch. It's got four jets on it. So the red bristles on the inside. That's the main distinguisher between the medium stiff one, which we use for about 95% of our cleaning. So this little one here, this 14-inch or the 10-inch brush, they're my go-tos. Main key difference, I find the 10-inch just feels like, to me, it feels like it just gives that little bit of extra oomph. But they're both pretty similar in stiffness. The other thing is that this has only got 2 jets on it, so when you've got low water pressure, this is the go-to, because you want to have a bit of good water flow when you finally get down to your final rinse, just to make sure you get all of the residue and the paint removal off. So that's what we're going to get up on the roof and use. So there you go. Now I'm going to go and set up all the water and everything. Been about probably nearly 10-12 minutes now since I've put some of that paint removal agent on, so it's about time to get up and start giving it a scrub. Okay, so back up on the roof, and I said before, it's a warm day, so the paint removal agent is pretty much dried up. So what I've done, I've gotten back up here, I've got the water-fed pole, just here, just trickling out water, so just ever so slowly. All I want is a bit of water to get down on the panels, all right? And what I do is just give it a bit of a scrub. I'll just zoom out a little bit here, so I get that to suds back up. My advice with paint removal agent is it works better when it has water mixed in with it. So when you have running water for scrubbing, and if it's wet for scraping. If it dries up, it's just near impossible. So always make sure you've got water happening. And if I just quickly show you, I've done this first panel here. So we've still got a little bit of touch up to do at the top. But if you can see, I'm just going to try and get a good angle here. This first couple of cells here, so these ones here, the paint is still on there. So I actually haven't cleaned that. And if you go to the left, basically I've done all the rest of the panel. So if I come across, the paint overspray that was like this is now pretty much dissipated. You'll see there's just a little touch here I need to go back over, so I didn't quite get that, but I'll just make sure that's all gone. But that sort of gives you a bit of an idea of the contrast. So now what I'm going to do, getting back to this, what I'm going to do with this one is, it's wet. I'm going to give it a scrub. So first things first is give it a scrub with the brush. All right, just start to loosen up that paint. And I'll also use the plastic scraper. The scraper will get in there, particularly if it's hard to get off. The paint, sometimes it's just very difficult to remove. That scraper will just give us the extra oomph in conjunction with the paint removal agent that will get this paint off this panel. So here I am partway through cleaning. I thought I might give you a quick close-up of what we've done so far. So this is the panel that I showed you early in the video, and you can see that a lot of that paint is now started to come off. So that's a hell of a lot better than what it was, but you can still see right on the edge there, and it's typical. You find it's more prominent on the edges because that's where the paint is most likely to be thickest. That's where we've still got some leftover paint overspray there, so that's going to get another coating of paint removal agent. I'll give that another go. I've already spent probably about 10 minutes on this panel, maybe a bit more actually. I haven't really taken notice of how long I'm taking, but yeah, scrubbed it and scraped it 3 times to get to where we're at, so pretty labor intensive, and we still haven't quite finished the job, but we'll get there. We'll get it all finished off, and I'll show it to you a bit later when it's all completely done. Just a quick comparison side by side partway through. This is probably the 2 worst panels on the job side by side, so that is still yet to be cleaned. You can see the paint overspray on there, so it's quite noticeable. And then if I zip across to this one here, this has been cleaned, so we've been able to remove that paint off the surface, and it was pretty much like the one beside it. So big difference there. That's what's being achieved with the paint removal agent today. Okay, so we're all done. All up, the main culprits were 14 panels on the front facade here. But to give you an idea, that's what they look like now. These ones here that I'm showing now are probably the worst ones, along with the one that I'm just about to pan back onto now. So this was, as you saw before, paint all over it, and halfway through we had to do another set just down that side there. Just zipping over this one, give you a closer look. There we go. And that second panel there, which I showed, side by side comparison, all done. So all up, a few hours worth of work for a pretty small job, so definitely labor intensive. These ones were probably middle of the road, slightly worse than middle, not the worst we've done, but definitely a challenge. Stiff bristle brush and scraper, particularly the scraper on this one, but the Chematec paint removal agent definitely did its job today, made life a lot easier. So that's a paint removal job. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, chuck a comment in below, and more than happy to help, more than happy to give advice. Paint removal agent in Australia, available from Solar Cleaning Solutions Australia, .com.au. So just jump onto that if you're looking to get some paint removal agent, or again, flick me a message and I'll be more than happy to help. Alrighty, cheers.